Hi, I'm Nick from Taunton Leisure, and today we're going to be talking about the Spark and Spark Pro range of sleeping bags from sea to summit. Okay, so in the Spark range, standard Spark range, we keep 3 comfort temperatures from them. So we've got a 7-degree one, a -1, and a -9. And in the Pro version, which we've got over there, we keep a -1 and a -9. So they don't make the summer bag in the Pro version. So that is one difference between the bags. They all come in these really useful little storage cubes. So they're really nice to just keep in a cupboard rather than having it hung up in a wardrobe, or maybe if you were going to keep it on a spare bed in a spare bedroom or something. If you look at the storage size of this is an old synthetic bag of mine, and it's pretty much probably about the same comfort temperature as this -9, and there's quite a big difference in the storage size there, so I think they're quite good. That's quite a nice little neat thing that they've done there, but optimised the packing cube size. So going back to the Spark bags themselves, each of the comfort temperatures, they're what's stated as -9, that's the lower limit. So standard comfort temperature on the -9 is -2, on the -1 it's 4 degrees, and on the 7 it's 11 degrees. So you're looking at summer really, spring and autumn, and then winter in most conditions. You might not, -2 comfort might not stretch to Scottish winter, to be honest, but still a good little range of sleeping bags there to see throughout most of the seasons in the UK. Okay, so we're going to talk about some of the features and the stats of the bags. Now I've got a -1 in the standard Spark and a -1 in the Spark Pro right next to me here, so good comparison. They both use a 10 denier nylon shell, and basically the shell fabric on both bags is exactly the same. So they're the same construction in these two bags, they're the same fit. The major difference between the Pro and the standard bag is that the Pro uses a 950 fill, well 950 plus fill ultra dry down, and the standard Spark uses an 850 plus fill ultra dry down. So they are both down-proofed, so the down inside them is much more water resistant. That will help keep the bags lofting nicely. As you can see, they're looking pretty fluffy at the moment. If you use this bag for a period of days or even weeks in a row and you weren't able to air it very well, you'd notice that loft going down and down and down, whether it be from moisture hitting the outside of the bag itself and going through the face fabric into the down, or from you sweating into the bag. So if you can't air it every day, the down starts to basically clump up a little bit. So with it being treated with a water resistant chemical, that just means that the down keeps its loft better. So that's a good plus point there. So yeah, as I mentioned, the features of both of the shells, the fit is exactly the same. So these are a regular fit, both of these are regular length. The Pro has a different zip configuration. So the Pro comes in -1 and -9, and in both comfort temperatures it has a full length zip all the way down the bag, and in fact it's a bit difficult to see on film, but there is a separate zip in the foot box as well. So because it's a warmer bag, you want to actually be able to get a little bit of extra air in sometimes when it's a bit warmer, so it's quite nice to be able to poke your feet out the bottom occasionally. You could, if you really wanted to, even actually walk around in the bag Sea to Summit do use that as one of their selling points. You've got a double zip, a dual zip on both, so you can actually poke your arms out of the bag. It has a zip on this side as well, so you can actually wear the bag as something to, not necessarily wander around camp, but you can certainly do stuff inside the sleeping bag if you really wanted to. So that is one of the big difference between the Pro and the standard Spark. Okay, so going back to some features that are common in both the standard Spark and the Pro, they both have a dual adjustable hood, so you can cinch the hood in really tight round your head if you want to make sure that there's no warm air coming out the top of the bag at all. They both have a nice zip baffle inside, so that's fully insulated with down there, so there's no cold area where the zip is at all. That's a bit of a must for all decent down bags. They all have that really. They've got a 3D foot box, so the foot box is shaped. Obviously, if you're lying on your back, your feet tip forward at an angle, so the bottom of the foot box is sort of a chisel shape, and that just allows your feet to drop down comfortably rather than being held up and being in an uncomfortable position. There's a fair few differences between the baffle construction on the different weights of the bags, and it's very difficult to actually show on video. We'll try and do a little bit of B-roll, put some close-up shots in there and cut that in for you. But basically, if you buy the Spark 7, which is a summer bag, then all of the baffles, everything you can see, all these baffle shapes, they're all stitched through. So it's stitched from front to the back. So where the stitching is, the fabric's just completely flat. That's fine for a summer bag. You don't need all of that extra insulation from having a shaped baffle in that one. So that's not a down point. That's just a way of keeping the bag a lot lighter and compress it smaller as well. So that's actually a plus point, not a bad point. In the -1 version, you've got some vertical baffles here on the top half of the bag in your core area, and they are box wall baffle construction, so they're like a 3D shape, so not stitched through. That helps the down loft and it keeps it really even, so there should be no cold spots there at all. That's really important to keep your core warm. And then from the waist down, that is stitched through. So that's the main difference between that and the 7 degree bag. And that's the same with the standard Spark as well. It has that box wall on the top, on the verticals, and stitched through on the bottom. And on the -9 version of both of them, it's box wall baffles all over the entire bag. So yeah, when you want to keep a bag much warmer, make it more thermally efficient, box wall baffles are always going to be the best way to make sure the down lofts perfectly and there's no cold spots at all. So that's the differences between the 3 levels of insulation. Okay, so moving on to the fit of the bags. They are obviously a mummy design, so tapered down to the foot box. That's partly down to making sure they pack down small and they're also super light, which they are. Partly down to the fact that a mummy shape generally keeps you warmer in colder conditions because it's more like the shape of your body, tapered. So fairly standard. We sell a lot of mummy shaped sleeping bags, but the Spark series, whether it's the standard Spark or the Pro, they have what they call a relaxed mummy shape. So they're basically a bit wider in the shoulder area and a bit wider in the hip area than many of the other mummy shapes that the other manufacturers use, which is good, especially if you're a little bit on the broader side in the shoulders. You can find that it's sometimes a bit difficult to actually do the main zip up when you're inside the bag, which can be pretty annoying. Or if you move around a lot, you know, if the bag's really tight, then yeah, it's just quite unpleasant. We keep both the Pro and the standard Spark in a regular and a long length. The regular length bags, I'm actually stood next to this one now, and the foot box is touching the floor. You can't see it on the camera, but it is. And they're pretty tall, so they say that you can get 185 centimetre tall human being inside this comfortably. So that's nearly 6'1" just in a reg. And the long is another 12 centimetres longer, or 4 inches odd. So yeah, in a long you could probably fit a 6'5" person in there. So pretty good actually. They're definitely not snug or tight. They're pretty generous, and that's the kind of fit I like, even in a technical bag. Okay, so we're going to try and sum up the two bags. So we've got the Pro version and the standard version. Which one would you really buy? Now, I guess it comes down to personal preference. I think you're going to go for the Spark Pro if you would prefer a bag that's got quite a few more features. So obviously it has all those zip options, which you don't get with the standard Spark. That's the main difference. It's a premium product. You get down qualities over 10% better. You actually get 10% more down in the bag as well. So for each temperature rating, they're very slightly warmer comfort temperature as well. So those are the main advantages of the Pro. With the standard bag, it's actually got a little bit less down inside it. So as I mentioned, the comfort temperature is slightly lower on this one. But with many less features on it, basically it's slightly lighter and it's going to pack down a little bit smaller. So if you're really weight conscious, I'd say the standard Spark might be the bag for you. So yeah, hopefully today that's thrown a bit of light on the two bags. They are quite similar, but hopefully I've helped you out there to maybe make a decision in the future over which bag you might like. And thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed the video today, please like and subscribe to our channel.